but you know, it's still your
Okay, ladies. Let's get back. Come on. Otherwise you will not be able to see. So, spectral Doppler. Okay. Now, ladies, usually when you say spectral Doppler is going to be our pulse wave Doppler. Okay. So this hill here, PW, that's your pulsed wave Doppler. So these two knobs here are meaning as Doppler function knobs, color Doppler and pulse wave Doppler. Okay, so this is your standard B-mode image. Okay, that we can make brighter if you want to. Oh, that's okay, that's bright. Okay. Now, so just look at the changes that will happen right here on the screen as I turn this on. Okay, so you see two things. This is still going to be your B mode image. Okay, but you see this structure here is appeared. Okay. And yesterday is I mentioned something about the sample volume. That's this little fellow here. Okay. Now, one thing about your pulse wave Doppler, that sample volume here, or sample window as I may call it, is always going to be in the blood vessel. Only then is it that you will get a Doppler reading of the velocity of the blood in that blood vessel. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, how can you move that? Play around with your mouse. Did you ladies get that? Okay. So this always has to be inside the blood vessel for you to be able to get a Doppler reading. Now, right now we're scanning nothing. Okay, which means we don't have a blood vessel. Okay, but once you find this, place that in a blood vessel. Okay, what you will start seeing down here, because this here is your spectrum. Okay, you will start seeing a graph. Okay, and now again, ladies, this. And this graph here is you see this line here, that's what's going to be as what we refer to as the baseline. Okay, that's going to be the baseline. That means it's going to be a velocity of 0. And if something is 0, that's because it's not moving. Like your car's velocity right now should be 0. If you still want it to be parked in the parking lot. Okay. And you have readings here, you have readings here. Okay. Now these are going to be what we call positive Doppler shift. These will be what we call negative Doppler shifts. Right now, don't worry about what the positive Doppler shift is and what a negative Doppler shift is. Okay. What you mean is just see numbers, and here is they measure the speed in the unit of speed, which is centimeters per second. So if you saw your graph that is went all the way up to 60, that means as your velocity was 60 centimeters per second. 60 centimeters is going to be something close to this.
Dang.
It will be 60 centimeters. So that's going to be covered or traveled by your blood cell in a second. Okay, and that's even low.
Whoa.
And this speed is still low. Okay. And so this happens to be a spectral Doppler. This happens to be, and this is going to be a pulse. And Now again, it's okay when we get to ultrasound physics and start talking actual Doppler readings and so on and so forth. We can talk a bit about it's okay the direction of this window here. But literally it's okay steering your beam, steering your sample window, etc. All functions will be as okay controlled by the knobs here. Clear, okay? Yep. We can even as okay move this baseline up and down. There's a knob here that says. And for these knobs here, it's okay, the function, the beauty is that their functions are mainly as okay written on the window right next to it. Just as I said yesterday in the class. So the function of these knobs here, because nothing is written here. Okay. And the reason that nothing is written is that their functions change all dependent upon what mode you are in. So in B mode, these functions are keys are going to have their own functions. In color flow, they're going to have their own functions. And let's say it's okay, pulse wave Doppler, they're going to have their own functions. So they will change as you turn on different modes. Okay. But this was your pulse wave Doppler. And now you don't hear anything. Okay, we can make something audible. Okay. Now usually it's okay if that's the case. Now what you see here in your graph, all this here is noise. Just like in what I did in the color, I filled up the box with color that we call confetti. Okay, so you don't want it to be something like this. Okay, you don't want it to be something like this either. Right? Okay, so this is good enough. You can hardly hear it, and what you may hear is okay as you will be running a. In this case, if you say Doppler, or even as okay in echo, you will hear or loud going sound. You can even increase this here.
If you need a tissue,
Like this, and it's going to be said audible and visual noise. But this noise here is annoying to hear at. So we can turn off the volume
That's the volume.
of your speakers. Okay, so here is okay, there is a button that says Acme is okay, mute it down. So you'll be able to hear what I'm saying without me. It's okay, raising my voice, and you guys, what happened to Mike? He just turned angry. Okay, but this is, we can raise it again, the noise of pulse width Doppler. You don't want it to be appearing something like this, because that's means okay, going to you can say that overlap or camouflage your graph that you want to see as you record the velocity of the blood in the blood vessel. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So we'll come to the specific functions of these knobs here is okay for Doppler in just a little bit. Next. What's the next? Depth. Okay, ladies, probably is okay one of the first main functions that you may, it's okay, let's say it's okay, need to adjust whenever you are scanning is going to be the depth. Now what we mainly mean by depth here is going to be is okay to what distance is that we'll be able to visualize. So right now, well okay, you will see your depth here. So right now I would guess okay, yes, be able to, yes, okay. If you are scanning a patient, we were able to, yes, okay, scan down to a depth of 5 centimeters deep. Okay, you may say this is too low. This is too short of a distance because the structure that I want to visualize may be at a depth of, let's say, 7 centimeters. Which may or may not have been something down here. So how do we bring this down here into your image? We increase the depth. Okay, we will increase the depth. And you cannot squeeze the graph together like this. So there gotta be a button. This knob here is the button for depth. And it's okay, the manufacturer is so gentle that he even mentioned that. And what's the common concept? You want to increase something, you turn the knob
Clockwise.
clockwise.
Oh, okay.
So you saw it's okay before 4 centimeters was down here. Now 4 centimeters up here because here is 8, so this may be 9 now. So now we actually, it's okay. So that structure which was a depth of 7 centimeters. Okay. That depth there was a 7 centimeter, which would have been down here. Now has been brought up. Okay. If this is too deep, you can always just decrease the depth. And how do you do that? The very same knob, very same button, but now we just go anti-clockwise. And now our maximum depth is 4 centimeters. I guess it's not going to be allowing us to get this shallower than that. Okay, so this is going to be what we will call depth. Okay, now the thing about ultrasound, or let's say ultrasound physics generally, our terminology is that this is going to be what we can call depth. This can also be referred to as depth of field. Okay, depth of field. Let's just put it this way. If this was me looking here, right, okay, and my depth of field was 4 meters. That will mainly mean that only until a distance of 4 meters I'll be able to see. After that, my vision goes 0 to 0. I'm literally blind beyond 4 meters. Okay, okay, yes, maybe I put on the glasses or something, and okay, yes, now I'm actually able to see up to 15 meters. Okay, so that's going to be my depth of field. I'll be able to visualize things onto a distance of 15 meters, whereas before it was just 4 meters. Okay, so that would be my depth of field. How far in the field is it that I'm able to, let's say, see clearly. Does that make sense? So the depth here can also be called the depth of field or depth of view. So what depth is it that you'll be able to view, or in this case, yes, visualize or see the structures. Did that make sense? Okay? So this knob here, ladies, is going to be criminal to forget about it. Okay? Okay? Its effect on is different things in the physics, blah 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 blah. We'll talk about those details when we get to physics. But whenever I say depth, this is the knob. Okay, what's its effect on other things is going to be, we will talk about those details in physics. Did I make myself clear? And how do you increase the depth? You turn it clockwise, now it's in the max. Okay, how do you decrease it? You turn it anti-clockwise. Increase clockwise, decrease anti-clockwise. Any questions? And you will see the numbers changing here, right? Okay. So literally, there's a structure which was at the depth of 4 centimeters, which you have seen down here right now. If we increase the depth, that structure which before was down here now is going to move up here. Okay, you increase the depth further. That's okay. 4 centimeters first was down here, then came here. Now it's going to be here. Okay. But you increase the depth, that means you'll be able to visualize structures which are at a greater depth. Did you guys get that? Good. What's the next one?
TGC.
Okay. TGC. Now, ladies, TGC is a abbreviation. Okay. Now, when we say TGC, what the does this stand for? T stands for time. G stands for gain. And C stands for compensation.
You said game or gain?
Gain. G-A-I-N.
Yeah, so.
Okay. You may think of this as, okay, being a PlayStation. Okay. Gain. Time, gain, compensation. Okay. Now, ladies, this is just one of the 3 names that your TGC or time gain compensation has. Another name that it also may have is going to be depth gain compensation. Depth. How deep, right? Okay? And gain compensation. Clear? Okay? It may also be referred to as swept gain. Swept. Like you sweep, you swept. Compensation. Okay? And we may just simply call it compensation. So forget about the gain, time gain, or depth gain. It can also be simply referred to as compensation. Did you girls get that? Any questions? Okay, girls. Now, one thing that will happen. As the sound wave travels deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay? Or maybe it will happen as the sound wave travels deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. More or less energy that it carried to begin with is going to get reflected back. What that mainly means is that, okay, yes, at greater depths, what the intensity of the sound wave is going to be, it's going to be decreased. You can hear me as you are sitting in this room. Okay. You go to the cafeteria, you may still hear that, okay, Mike is saying something. You may still be able to figure out what I'm saying, because you can still hear my sound or voice loud and clear. But if you go down to the administration, you may not be able to hear me. Why? Because down there is, okay, my sound has weakened. Okay, so that weakening of, you can say, okay, the amount of sound energy is what we will refer to as attenuation. What would that mean? That, okay, as at a certain depth, that's okay, the sound waves or the sound energy may have decreased to a degree that, okay, yes, even as, okay, the reflections that we get back are going to be so weak that we won't see them on the screen. So that's what we mainly is, okay, we'll need to compensate for. Okay, so what this time gain compensation, depth gain compensation, or swept compensation, or simply just compensation is going to compensate for is that attenuation of the sound wave. Okay. Now the question just comes, how in the do we do that? And that's going to be these slides here. Okay. So these are going to be your time gain compensation, or maybe that's okay how we compensate. Step up goals. Now a couple of things. Right now, all of your slides are here. So right now, throughout our depth of our image, our compensation is at 0, or let's say at the minimum. So right now, if you were scanning, none of our signals were getting compensated. Did you guys get that? Clear? Okay. So right now, this is compensation or minimum compensation, which mainly will mean that, okay, yes, if we slide a knob over here, so this side, there's going to be maximum compensation. Okay. This knob here is going to be for shallow, and as we go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, or further and further and further down, it's going to be for greater and greater and greater and greater depth. Okay. Now what that compensation is going to do is mean is, okay, make a reflection which otherwise would appear pretty dark to become bright. Okay. I can just randomly as okay out of at any depth. Let's just do it in the middle. And you most likely will see as okay a wide line is okay popping up here. So had I been scanning, right, okay, yes, at this depth here, that's where we'll be is okay, have a compensation at the maximum. Okay. Now, you may see here is okay, there's a little is okay curve. That's what we call the curve of the anatomy of the compensation. So generally, guys, okay, superficially, let's just generally, it's okay, a superficial depth or shallow depths, we don't necessarily need compensation because the sound is big and strong, okay, so it hasn't undergone is okay much attenuation. So, okay, but as we go deeper, we may have to, let's say, it's okay, increase our compensation. So that's literally is okay what they tell you here. This side is going to be minimum, this side here is going to be maximum, this is shallow, this is deeper, this is deeper, this is deeper. So, like this, something like this. Okay. But what will determine, because okay, we may have to okay go like this and then start your compensation like this. This is all going to be as okay fine tuning that you will have to as okay adjust from patient to patient to patient to patient, all dependent upon his or her build-up. Or that says okay the area that you are scanning. Okay. Because there are going to be as okay different tissues which are going to cause more attenuation. Some tissues are going to cause lesser attenuation, and some tissues are going to cause close to no attenuation at all. Okay. So all dependent upon is okay the amount of tissue or those kind of tissue and how much attenuation that they that the sound wave undergoes as it travels through those tissue will determine as okay the depth at which you may start your to as okay compensate. This is your curve of the TGC, or the anatomy of the TGC curve. Okay? But right now, just remember, this is the minimum. So when they're all over here, pretty much okay as 0 compensation. Okay? And this side here is maximum compensation. The top knobs are going to be as okay shallow depths. And as you go from the top to bottom, it's going to be deeper and deeper and deeper. And you actually, it's okay, will be able to, it's okay, because if I just slide the knobs here, just look at a line that's going to appear somewhere here. Okay. So immediate OK tells you how you have. If I just move it all like this, so you can see. So that's immediate OK a line here which indicates your attenuation. Oh, sorry, compensation. So that is your TGC. So immediate OK enables you to, I guess it's okay, cause an extra gain or extra increase in the intensity of the sound waves that had reflected back, but at different depths. That's why besides that's okay being called chime gain, can also be referred to as depth gain compensation. I like the depth gain compensation more because some of you may say, so what is the matter of the chime? Well, okay, chime is mean is okay because the chime at sound wave is okay means to travel and come back, travel and come back. So that's why they also call it chime gain compensation. Gain is anything that has been increased will be called gain. Okay. What's the gain of coming in today?
Knowledge.
That you get to see this. Okay, so hopefully it's okay when you drive home in your car's late. Okay, and you hopefully it's okay when you gain something. Okay, there's some okay, especially it's okay regarding the knobs of the machine. There's something that you didn't knew before. Now you know it. Okay, so that's the gain that you got. What does the time say on my clock?
2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Okay, just turn it off. All right.
I don't want to mess it up.
No, you don't.